Hello everyone, welcome to Buzz Crimson. My name is Shakib. I wanted to make a video for all of you who are just getting started with investing, or you just trade with a small account in general. If you have a small account and you do know how to trade options, then this is probably not the video for you. I'll make a different version for you, small account option trading folks. All right, so I'll go over what you can do to get started, especially when you are finding that, all your favorite company stocks or some of your favorite company stocks are just too expensive for your small account. And then I'll also point you to some great tools that you can use to crunch along the way, Yeah, so all right, let's get started. So just want to kind of very quickly go over the cons of small account. At least these are some stuff that I faced when I used to trade with a small account back in after undergrad school. Limited capital, small returns for the amount of effort you got to put in. When I say small account, I'm talking about $500, maybe $1,000 max. After $1,000, I don't really consider that to be a small account. Pattern day trading rule applies to you. Can't buy and sell stocks on the same day. If you do that multiple times, you will have issues from SEC. And then it's difficult to diversify because, you just don't have a lot of money to buy in a lot of stuff. Yes, you can buy fractional shares, but that's not fun. If you have $500, you're going to end up with like 0.15% off an Amazon share. I wouldn't even feel good about telling someone that, or even that just sucks. High volatility, yes. If you can only buy like 2 stocks or something with $500, then your account is gonna swing up and down like crazy. And then in general, dissatisfaction because it's a small account. You can't buy. If you can't sell that often, all that stuff. It's just a lot of cons in general. And what I will show you, the way it'll probably address most of these issues in a pretty good way. Okay, so first of all, you want to study the companies that interest you if you're just getting started, and make a list. It's really important for you to make a list, okay? Don't just look at stocks and be like, let me just buy this. No, make a list. Try to understand your preferences. What do you know? It'll help you to build knowledge over time. Categorize and discover each category. When I say category, there are many types of categories, right? Industry, you can even categorize by price, right? There's 50 stocks that are under 100 or whatever, but industry, and then inside the industry sectors. When you study these type of categorizations, you will identify peers very quickly. Like if you know Microsoft, you should know Apple. If you know Boeing, you should know Lockheed. If you know Delta, you should know American Airlines. It's just the way it is. And then obviously try to use some tools to stay organized, keep track of your learnings so that you can always go back to it. Don't just do everything in your head or on a piece of paper or something, and then one day you want to go back and you don't have it. So, and finally, find ETFs that hold your favorite companies and buy. That's it. That's the solution. When you just find stocks to be too expensive. What are ETFs? If you don't know, ETFs are exchange-traded funds. Think about it like a box or a basket, and inside the basket, they put a lot of different companies or underlying securities, right? So a company or a ETF issuing bank or institution can go, you know what? I want to make a technology ETF, and they can literally create a product. Inside the product, they can just put, if they wanted to put just 4 companies, they could just put Apple, Microsoft, Google, and then, I don't know, something else like NVIDIA. And that it would be one stock or one ETF. You could buy that one ETF, and you would essentially catch action from all those 4 companies at once. Okay, so why this would address a lot of these things, if you think about it, you wouldn't have to trade as much. You would experience less volatility because ETFs include more than one companies. The most popular ETFs, they include hundreds of companies. You wouldn't have to worry about, oh, how much do I put in this? How much do I put in that? You don't have to worry about it. If you pick the right ETF, it'll have pretty decent amount of weightings already done for you. And then budget concerns, you don't have to think about. ETFs are issued by so many different companies that if you find an ETF that you like, but the ETF is expensive, I guarantee you can find other ETFs from other issuer that does the same job. It is, for example, State Street has an ETF that mimics S&P 500, SPY. You can also find that from Vanguard, which is called VOO. So essentially, you don't have to. There are so many different ETFs and at different price point doing the same thing. You have a lot of options. So you're not tied down by one company and one price. Okay, now let me show you a tool that you can use for research and tracking your investments. Both of these include the research tabs, but the second option is for my Patreon supporters, which will have a really cool portfolio tracker. I use a tracker like that myself for all my investments. All right, so the first tab is the research tab. This is where you're going to start listing all the stocks you're interested in. It's very simple. All you have to do is fill out the yellow cell with the stock's ticker. I have some very popular stock tickers here. Microsoft, Apple, a lot of retail, fast food, electric cars, banks, pharmaceutical companies, everything most people generally care about. So we can put them here. And then all you have to do is drag it. Okay, there we go. That's a lot of good information for new investors. You can look at company name, price, 52-week high and low, market cap. You can look at, this is something that you're going to have to go in to kind of understand what kind of industry do they fall in and their sectors. Pretty good to know in terms of categorization, because if you, let's say, invest in like 5 companies, you would want them to fall in different industries, hopefully, or they would be prone to the same market trends. Okay, and then some of these stocks you can just buy them outright because they're cheap enough, like Delta Airlines, maybe Bank of America. They're pretty discounted right now, but stocks like Amazon, you just can't. They're too expensive. You can, for let's say you have a $500 account, you can only get like 0.15 shares of Amazon or something like that. And if Amazon started tanking, your whole account would be gone. I mean, we know that won't happen, but whatever happens to Amazon happens to your account. That's just crazy. Even if you invested in like 2 or 3 different companies, that's it. Whatever happens to those 3 companies, that'll be the fate of your portfolio or your trading account. So this column is probably the most important column here because it'll help you understand which ETFs you want to get that will hold your favorite companies. So let's say you want to buy Amazon, but you just don't have that much money and you don't want to buy some really tiny fractional amount of Amazon. You can head to ETF.com. It's taking a bit of time. Okay, so there are 281 ETFs that hold Amazon. That's good to know. You have a lot of choices, and then there's some breakdowns that can help you to pick through all these different options that hold Amazon. For example, ETFs with the most Amazon exposure, ONLN, 23.44%. So if Amazon stock went from $3,100 to $0, ONL and ETF would lose almost 23% of its value. And this will show you the highest performing one in the last 30 days. This one will show you which ETF holds the most Amazon shares. Even though QQQ holds the most Amazon share, it doesn't have the highest weight because QQQ is such a huge ETF. So even if it's the highest number of Amazon shares, it's just not enough to command a weight that's more than like 10% or something. Okay, so just like that, you can find out ETFs that hold your favorite stocks and start populating this this tab where you have an ETF research tab. Okay, so once you have the ETFs, if you pick the right ETFs, you can literally build a very well balanced portfolio with like 5. 3 to 5 would be enough to capture a lot of different industries, and your portfolio would be very stable. And yeah, and you can also find ETFs that are very affordable. So for example, we'll just go with these 4, and because they have top 100 companies in QQQ, SPY, S&P 500, VTI captures the whole U.S. stock, total stock market for the U.S., and DIA includes, I mean, they definitely overlap, but they have different weightings. So overall, you essentially capture pretty much everything. So let's just grab these and let's head on to the portfolio tracker. Okay, so you're going to paste the tickers here. Let's say you are buying these today, so you're going to get something that's very close to the market price. Let's just say you're buying this at 302, 366, 190, and 300. This, let's say you don't have this right now. You have $500 and you have 4 things to invest in. You can pick whatever weight you want. For simplicity's sake, in this video, I'm just gonna say all 4 they have equal weight. Okay, so let's go with 4. There's 4 tickers. Each of them is going to, I need to invest 125 in each of them. That way they all will have 25% weight. Okay, so this is the place where you're going to put how much money you ended up putting in. So 125. Whenever I'm investing, I enter a positive number. It gets highlighted green. If I put negative, bam, it'll be red. Okay, so 125. Okay, so we're good for now. So once you have everything put in, it'll show you how many shares you own, what is the return you're getting in dollar and percent amount, what is your position's worth, and current allocation. If you notice, there's some returns because I entered average price slightly below the market price. That's why. If I entered the same market price, return would be 0. The worth would be exactly $500. So this is a very good way to track your portfolio over time, and then probably every 3 months come back and use this side to balance out the portfolio. What I mean by that is, let's say you invest only $500 for 3 months. You come back after 3 months, you see that let's say QQQ grew much more than the other ones. Then the total worth of QQQ holding will be much higher than the other ones. So the current allocation would be off balance. So they're not going to be equally 25%. So if you want to maintain that, you can use this 3 orange columns to see how much you want to take off from QQQ to bring it back to 25%, or add certain amount to the other 3 components to bring them back to the balance weight of 25%. All of that will work as is. Just plug it in and it'll work out. In here, you can see the how much you invested and how much return you're getting, and this will show you the current allocation. And this, remember, this was for record. This was our desired allocation. As of now, it's fine, but over time, even if I check this like tomorrow, chances are the current allocation is going to change and it'll not stay as my desired allocation. But that is it for this tool. So if you want the research tool and the portfolio tracker, please head on to Patreon and be a patron for my channel. For now, I'm running a special where if you sign up as a buzzmate before December 31st, you will enjoy all the perks that comes with BuzzBuddy. I think this will be a good way for everyone to get to know me. We can have a lot of fun in Discord chat. You can every month you can get like 30 minutes one-on-one with me to play games, learn about options trading and whatnot. And if you sign up for December 31st, all the Buzz Buddies, right? You will have access to. I'm working on a lot of different trackers like this. As soon as I get started, I'm going to add all the Patreon supporters, so you won't have to wait for me to make a video. You will just know that something is in the works and you can come in and check it out. But yeah, that is all. Thank you so much for watching. I'll have the link for the PowerPoint presentation under the video. If you have any questions or comments, yeah, leave it in the comment. And yeah, that is all. Thank you for watching.